Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to learn about formal and informal greetings. Formal and informal greetings. So first of all, everyone, welcome to class. So what we're going to start with is formal greetings. Formal greetings. So formal greetings is official. You use them officially. But what is formal greetings? So greetings is the act of giving salutation. Act of giving salutations. So we have two ways. We have formal and informal. And the formal one is when you're using in the office, business, mass planet, and meetings. So let's see. One, formal greetings you use on meetings. Gatherings, institutions, and business. So today we're going to learn how you greet someone when you're in a meeting, when you're in a gathering, an institution, or when you're doing business with people or someone or companies. How you start by saying when you meet them, okay? So this means official places. Okay, so example one, you say good morning. Good morning is in the morning. Okay, from 12 midnight to 12 midday. And then we have good afternoon. Good afternoon is from 12 midday to about 5 or 6 p.m. That means PM, we use PM when you're talking about the afternoon. We use AM when it is in the morning. And then after 6, you're allowed to say good evening. So after 6, you're allowed to say good evening. So let's repeat this again. The first one, good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. So that is the way you use in the morning. After, you ask question like, how are you? Another one is, how do you do? So these are some of the questions that you ask after saying the word good morning. So example, good morning. How are you? Or how are you today? Now, the response, okay? The response to these questions are good morning. You can either say good morning or good morning too. Good afternoon. You say the same. Good afternoon. Or good afternoon too. And then you have good evening. Say the same. Good evening. Or good evening too. So, good morning too. Good afternoon too. Good evening too. But you have to remember, if someone says good morning and then you respond good morning, it is also correct. So you can either say good morning, or good morning too. Okay? So after you ask the question, how are you? And how are you today? Or how do you do? So how do you do has only one response. How do you do? You respond, how do you do? The same way. How do you do? How do you do? Mostly this is asked when you're having a handshake with someone. Handshake. So like, good morning too. How do you do? How do you do? So you have to go with a handshake with this one, but it's not a must. You can verbally say how do you do, and the response will be how do you do. How are you and how are you today has a lot of responses that you can use. So I am going to go through some responses that you can use when you're asking how are you and how are you today. So some of those responses are I'm fine, thank you, and you? Now, notice there is a full stop here. So this means you have to stop. So you pause. One, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you? So it's not I am fine, thank you, and you. It's I am fine, thank you, and you. So you have to pause when there is a full stop, and when there is a comma, you can say the whole thing. So I am fine, thank you, and you. Okay. The other one is I'm fine, thank you, full stop. So you don't have to ask and you if you're not concerned. You can also say I am fine, I'm good, okay. So there are other many ways of responding to that question. Now, you can also say one-word answers like great. How are you today? Great. How are you? Good. Okay. One-word answers are used when you don't want to talk more with the other party or with the other person. After this, there is the conclusion of the conversation. You say, nice to meet you. And the response will be, nice to meet you too. Nice to meet you too. So, let's start this from the beginning. Formal greetings. Good morning. Very good. Good afternoon. Good evening. Very good. So remember, you can say good afternoon too, or you can say good afternoon. You can say good morning too, or you can say good morning. Now, after that, we have the questions that we ask. How do you do? Very good. How are you? Very good. How are you today? Good. So, these two questions, you remember you have to answer with this or add this one word question. And after that, you have to say, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Okay? Good. So, that is formal greetings. Formal greetings. Remember, when I ask how do you do, you answer with how do you do too. How do you do, sorry. How do you do, how do you do. But you can either do it with a handshake or not. So it is optional. Optional means you don't have to do it. If you want to do it, it's okay. If you don't want to do it, it's okay too.